Hello, this is Getting Better at Stand-Up with Kermit's nephew. I think it's Noah, I don't know. Anyway, today is Monday, June 30th. It's like 8:30. And yeah, today we are going to Thank You Miami, and I'm nervous. I was going over my set, and dude, I'm gonna say this every time. I really don't write enough, but I'm realizing now I don't know how to write. I have no idea how to write. I write down funny quips, funny little thoughts, and then I talk. I feel like I come up with a punchline when I'm talking, but I'm trying to write it. Like I'm trying to sit there and like write it like a script. And I feel like I'm slowly learning my writing style, and I think my writing style is more in just conversation. I wrote down every joke that I have that's finished, and I don't have a lot. These are all the ones that I have that I feel like are good. Because I was thinking to myself, like, oh, I'm not getting better at stand-up. I'm just plateaued. And it's because before I was going once a week. This is the first time I'm going to do a stand-up thing outside of Tuesday. I also forgot to sign up for Villain Theater. So that means tomorrow I have to do another place that isn't where I'm comfortable. Because I'm comfortable there because it's a cool hang, and it's just like I'm familiar with the people and the regulars that go there. So I've just grown comfortable. And another issue is I've grown comfortable with being last, and it's intentional, and I need to stop that because now I'm fine with going on stage. I'm just nervous to go in front of people I don't know, because now it's like whenever I go up, it's like 4 people that I'm familiar with, like they're acquaintances or friends, whatever you want to call them. All right, I'll see you at the show, and then we will review the set. That was my first set at Thank You Miami. It went very poorly. I kept repeating myself. How did I feel about that set? There's things in there I just don't know if they fucking worked or not, I guess, until I watch this. Because I just kept repeating myself, dude. Like, I was so nervous. I kept being like, yeah, I know what you're thinking. So I'm gonna go do another set. Okay. Walking the streets of Miami with a fucking camera is like... We are gonna watch the set I did at Thank You Miami. This will be very rough. I put the audio from my phone onto the footage, and I got a little sneak peek. Tried not to watch it to save my initial reactions for this, but I'm letting you know right now, it's rough. And I was thinking about this, and I realized that most open micers and most comedians don't want people seeing this stuff. I feel like a lot of them they want to keep the illusion as if they've always had this skill, unless they did, and I'm just very bad at it. But I don't know how long it's supposed to take until I'm good at it. I guess it's my own pace is when I figure that out. But I'm not gonna lie, before we get into the video, I was so nervous. I was like so nervous. I think it was because I haven't done a set in 2 weeks, and whenever I do a set, poop joke, it's only once a week. So my set after this one, I did like an hour after. I felt so much more comfortable. Of course, there's a lot I need to work on, but it felt more intimate, and it also felt just more like genuine and fun. There's hair on the... No, there's no hair on you. My bad. Let's get this fucking over with. I don't want to watch this as much as you do.
We had a comic who is definitely a comic. Miles! Give it up for Miles, guys!
A comic that's definitely a comic. That's my accolades.
Good job.
I hugged him because I got nervous, so...
Hi. Can we get a quick round of applause for the only people that use their turn signals, please? Yeah, there we go. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I know what you're thinking. No, I am not Dominican. I am white. And I'm sure you can... Sorry, I'm joking. I get really emotional.
Actually was joking.
I know what you're thinking. I'm white. Yes. I dress like an old man, and I've been told my entire life that I have an old soul. I used to brush it off and just, like, deny it. But I realized no, I always have Werther's Originals in my back pocket. I drink a lot of water, I don't need a flush. I drive very slowly. You know, I do a lot of things that old people do. I go to the local Hooters and flirt with the waitress and masturbate in the bathroom. But there's one thing
Gotta laugh.
that old people do that I've just always admired. I'm not looking at you guys for any reason, okay? I'm not at that. Let me direct my attention to you, sir.
There's an old man at the bar.
No problem. You're very handsome. Anyway, so my grandfather my entire life would always tell me how hard it was when he grew up. How he had to walk 50 miles to school. He had 2 jobs. He didn't have a pair of shoes. He had 2 kids. And I was thinking, what am I going to tell my kids? Like, what am I going to tell my grandkids? How am I going to trauma dump on my seeds? That was improvised. I don't know if you can know. Anyway, let's say my grandson runs up to me. And he goes, Papa, what did you do in your day? What was it like growing up in your day? When I would tell him, well, we had to drive our own cars. We had to think for ourselves because we didn't have a chip in our brain. And I would probably go to his level. He's like 19. I'd go to his level. And I would go, what's his name? Chip? Beautiful. Chipperino. Well, the hardest thing I ever had to do was watch porn on my Nintendo DS. That is something he will never relate with. Anyway,
that was really bad delivery.
People, we have a new pope. That's exciting. The new pope is from Chicago, meaning we finally have someone to represent deep dish pizza in Italy. I'll write that one down. First time, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's pause it. Okay, initial reaction. We are 3 minutes and 26 seconds in. Wow. Sorry, I need a break. That's why I always pause in the middle, because I need a break, dude. It's so rough. I was in my head a lot. I kept looking at my notes. The people that I was talking to that you can see on the screen that are on the lower level, they were 5 white people. It was like, or 4 white people. It was 2 couples. And they were from Indiana, so I was kind of looking at them a lot because they weren't laughing at anybody's stuff. They were smiling a lot throughout mine. At least the man was, the man in red. He was smiling a lot. I don't know. Let's continue.
Put my password in. All ones, by the way. Speaking of the Pope, we have Elon Musk and Trump. They finally broke up.
I said speaking of a lot.
Sucks, but I'm sure a lot of Tesla owners are kind of relieved that they don't have swastikas.
Right here.
Okay. They won't have swastikas written in shit on their doors. But one thing that always confused me is, why does no one rub shit on Volkswagen cars or Volkswagen drivers? Not Volkswagen drivers. Because the first Volkswagen was hand-drawn, made by Adolf Hitler. And no one brings that up. Henry Ford, anybody? Yeah, clap it up for Henry Ford, guys. Yeah, he was a KKK member anyway. I'm going to leave you with this last year. Everybody's still talking about the whole Elon, my heart goes out to you situation. And a lot of people assume that he's autistic. And it bothers me when people say that. Because he's not. He did that in a quick moment of time, right? And I wouldn't say he's autistic, because you don't go into a Publix, that's a grocery store, and see the bagger just seek high him. Alright, that's all I got, guys. Thank you.
Good job.
Let's
close this computer.
I butchered all of my punchlines. I stuttered throughout the entire set. I repeated myself. I hesitated, and I thought of what they were thinking too much. I was concentrating on everything all at once, but not where I was supposed to go. Here are my notes. Let's go over them. Just too hesitant, yeah. Got distracted easily. Go more weird. So what I mean by that is go, like, maybe just like use analogies that don't make sense. Go branch out and sound a little more weird. Maybe, because I'm a very physical person, I think I should feed into my like motions and body language and like being all googly gaggly. The woman was trying to not really heckle. She was, I mean, yeah, I guess heckle. When I was talking about Teslas, and she's like, "He owns a Tesla." I didn't know where to go with that, so I just said, "Okay." I should have said something about it. Probably, I should have been like, "Oh, you," I don't know. I really don't know. I think that was very educational. I feel really good doing it. I didn't really have, I guess I don't know if I had fun or not, but it was fine. It was fine. What else can I say? Yeah, I'm just gonna work on my writing, and I'm gonna write out all my jokes, and I'm gonna see what stays and what goes. I think that I don't know, what do you guys think about the Pope joke? I keep trying it, but it just never, I don't think it gets a laugh. I think it gets oh, that was cute. You know, I don't think it gets oh, that was so smart. Which none of my jokes are smart. They're all like, I masturbate in the bathroom. I masturbate watching porn on my DS. Like, none of these jokes are smart. And that's something I really want to change. Because I don't watch these jokes and go, wow, I can't believe I thought of that. I go, yep, 23-year-old guy, yeah, that makes sense. And I don't like that. So we're going to grow. This is like part 1 of 2, because I did 2 sets yesterday. So thank you for watching. God bless. Please comment any critiques or anything that you think I should work on. Whatever you think. Alright, bye.